Taylor Sheridan's look at the oil industry is back with Landman Season 2, and Billy Bob Thornton's Tommy is dealing with a number of new family challenges. The latest season of the neo-western drama picks up a few months after the prior finale, as Tommy works with Demi Moore's Cammy Miller to help salvage and maintain MTex's reputation after the death of John Hamm's Monty. On the flip side, Tommy's household dealings find themselves in another roller coaster situation in Landman Season 2, with his teenage daughter Ainsley planning to go to college at TCU in Fort Worth, his sort of ex-wife Angela wanting to move there with her, and his son Cooper taking his settlement money and opening new oil drills. Even further complicated is the news that his mother has died, forcing him to reconnect with his estranged father, Sam Elliott's TL. In honor of its return, Screen Rant interviewed Ali Larter, Michelle Randolph, Jacob Laughlin, Paulina Chavez, Kayla Wallace, Colm Fior, Mark Colley, Mustafa Speaks and Christian Wallace to discuss Landman Season 2. Looking at the arcs of the various Norris family members this season, Laughlin began by discussing Cooper's efforts to carve his own path apart from his father in the oil industry, describing it as being so much fun to get to see his character gain a little ground in success. Comparing his character's journey to the way he is growing in this career, Laughlin explained that Cooper is ultimately trying to blossom as he opens his own drills and begins to find some success with striking oil. Denoting the widely relatable core to this story, the Landman star opined that it doesn't matter what business someone is in, as someone dedicated to their craft will give all you can to succeed. However, while Cooper finds himself gaining some success, his family finds themselves getting into some tricky situations. For starters, Tommy isn't the only one who finds themselves interacting with Sam Elliott's TL this season, as Cooper will also get some time in with his on-screen grandpa, which Laughlin describes as being a very new experience for his character, particularly as they hadn't spent a whole lot of time around each other prior to Season 2. As for what to expect from Cooper and TL's dynamic going into the rest of the season, Laughlin teased that his character will again serve as something of a surrogate for the audience going into the rest of Landman Season 2, as he will be getting to learn what actually happened between his father and grandfather. Coining the experience as a ride-along thing, Laughlin expressed his excitement for audiences to see more of their family history. Another bit of Norris family history that Landman has yet to properly explore is what the root of the heated relationship is between Cooper and his sister, Michelle Randolph Ainsley. When asked about this unknown sibling history, Randolph, who can also be seen in the near future as part of the Scream 7 cast, agreed with fans' theories that their animosity is more than just typical sibling rivalry, albeit admitted that neither she nor Laughlin know that something happened yet. Randolph also admitted that Ainsley lives in a little bubble created by Larter's Angela, one largely devoid of dealing with the hardships of real life, thus creating a sense of confusion in her about why Cooper is just so grumpy all the time. The star also goes on to admit she isn't sure if Ainsley will ever break out of that disconnect between their outlooks on the world. Larter went on to chime in with her own thoughts on Ainsley and Cooper's conflict-heavy relationship, feeling that it's not just about a specific event in the past between the pair, but also the amount of attention that I've placed on our daughter. Comparing her role of Angela to being a mother of two in real life, the star admitted that putting a little bit more energy into one can cause a rift between the siblings. This also led to the way she plays their scenes together, as it's important to not give energy when your kids are fighting, at the risk of feeding into their energy. In addition to having to wrangle in her children, Angela and Tommy also find themselves in another unique challenge to their relationship, as the former looks to move to Fort Worth, while the latter, both busy with his new MTex oil responsibilities and stuck in his ways, wants to remain in the West Texas countryside. Even as this builds to some of the same tensions the pair have faced in the past, both continue to try and keep their second effort at a relationship on a healthy track. Reflecting on this journey, Larter expressed that Tommy and Angela have an incredible shared history together, pointing out how their first marriage was challenged by the bust and boom within the oil business, particularly since the former presented them with some real hardships. However, even as Tommy found himself turning to alcohol for support, and Angela had no way to support her family, she still felt that they were really true loves to each other. As such, when some years passed and the two found themselves spending more time with each other for Ainsley's sake, it softens you a little bit and gave them both a realization of what you want from your life. Though Tommy still comes with some challenges in his actions and behavior, Larter feels that Angela can now focus more on just giving their children a healthy upbringing. Mark Colley: well, I started making music when I was like 12 years old. Songwriting is how I got into the entertainment business. In my late teens, I started writing songs for country singers in Nashville, and that led me to record making. Billy Bob: funny story, I used to record muscle shows in Alabama initially, and 10 or 15 years later I found out that Billy Bob was down there making a record too. He came over there from Arkansas. He was in a rock band. I was in a country band. We never knew each other. We walked the same paths. Ultimately, songwriting came natural to me and to him, and we were sitting there reading the script, and we started a song called Midland After Midnight, and now Flatland Calvary cut it. Taylor loved the song and Taylor's a songwriter too, and I could talk about songwriting forever. I'm going to stop, but it was a blast and something Billy and I did kind of natural. Mustafa speaks, well, Andy Garcia, just him, his brand, he brings something so dynamic to any project that he's in, and what he's going to do this season is just increasing the stakes of everything that Tommy touches. How that's going to affect Boss, you'll see, because there's always a trickle-down effect, particularly how Boss and Tommy have their relationship. So what you'll see is just more intensity from everybody. Christian Wallace, well, when you take one player off the chessboard, that opens up opportunities for another. We get to see Cammy, his wife, played by Demi, just step into that role, and now she's swimming with the sharks and has to figure it all out. And so that is one of the fun things about this season, is watching her come into her own. Christian Wallace, yeah, I mean, I think we're hewing to reality in a lot of instances, in a lot of ways in this show, and it makes sense that he had a really high-stress job that is not great for the old ticker, and so that's life. There's a lot of just life in this show, and yeah, it leaves a hole though, for sure, a Colm but when you say Norris family home, that's a misnomer. It's the M. Texas rental house. So the only people who belong in that house are Billy Bob,